Hey everybody, let me know if you're here. I hope that y'all come. I started a couple minutes early so I can let people get on. So if you're here, make sure you say hi in the comments. I would love to see you say hi in the comments so I can see you. Or at least let me know that you can see me because I can't see you. Is it working? Is it working? Rowena. I sat here for Rowena. Can you write in the, oh, I see some thumbs going up. Okay, can you write in the comments? Oh, I see a lot of fun thumbs. Can somebody write in a comment? See if that works. Who's laughing? I can't see. Give me a comment. Hello. Oh, I see comments. Ah, wonder what happened. Oh, you're the coffee. Oh, okay. Jeannie Huffman is the funny coffee. I love that. I have one too. Now, Stinky Rowena, I sat here. Okay, thanks, Jane. I sat here because I'm at my kitchen table and it looks outside in Rowena's window. And I have really, really cute placemats, but I was catching Rowena on my table because for some reason she's drawn to these placemats and I don't like her on my table. So I've put the placemats in the window and this is where she sits. But right now she's just looking at me like, yeah, I know you want me up there. She's a stinker. Come here, Ro. Come here, Ro. So while we wait for people to get on here, I'm going to try to get on there. Hi, Brandy. So how many of you guys, have you guys bought the, or pre-ordered Stamped Out yet? Has anybody pre-ordered the book yet? Let me know in the comments. I hope you have. Huh. Rowena, come here. Come here, Rowena. Do you have your drink ready and handy? So I'm not for sure why I'm not getting any comments. Or y'all just not commenting. I see a few comments. Oh, yeah. Hello. I know. She won't get up there, Janie. Oh, she's coming. She's coming. She's eyeballing it. Maybe I can just grab her. Oh, you stinker. I'll get her. Come here. Oh, got it. So really, Rowena is really small. People think that she's like this big little cat, but she's not. And I love her, and I make her love me. See, look, I make her. She hates it. So I make her. Ow! So anyways, but she's only like 7.5, 8 pounds. So she's really not that big. So people always like, oh, she looks like you're giving eyes. Are you giving good eyes? Huh? Are you giving eyes? Look at her ignoring me. Hey. Hey. See? She's mean to me. She hates me. Oh. Okay, hold on. I'm going to put her up here. So maybe she'll hang out up there. Who knows? So she likes to, yeah, y'all like that she bit me because she does it all the time. She's awful. Oh, Tammy, she says hi to you too. Maybe. Okay. So now see, she's gonna, hey, Rowena. Hey. Hey. Hi. She hates me. I mean, she hates me. And there is a cat named Rowena in Stamped Out, but much nicer than Rowena. So anyways, oh, Wilfreda, she ordered Stamped Out. Gosh, you did order it fast. Oh, good. Let's see, all y'all have done a pre-order. That's great. Yay. Because we are going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to actually read the first chapter tonight, and then we're going to talk about some things that are going on. Let me move the thing so I don't have to look cattywampus. So anyways, we're going to read the first chapter so you guys know what to expect, since it is a brand new book. And there are some prizes that are up for giveaway tonight. And some of those prizes are going to be a $20 gift card to my bookstore. And as well, so that means you get to buy whatever you want in the bookstore for $20. It could be 2 print books. It can be a mug. It could be one of the totes. Also, Jean Daniels said that her cat is 13 pounds. Oh my gosh, like Ro is half of that. But did you just see her bite me? I mean, really, Donna, did you? I just come on and didn't realize she bit you. Yeah, she always bites me. And anyways, she's bad. She don't bite Eddie. So, but anyway, so there is a cat named Rowena in Stamped Out. I just had to put her in there. Also, there are recipes in Stamped Out. And so I hope you guys pre-order that. But I wanted to come on and read the first chapter because I know that it's a new series and a lot of people are like, oh no, what's this about? So like I said, tonight we're going to be doing some giveaways throughout the night, and I'll be picking the winners through the comments. And I will say, okay, you know, so-and-so, you won the $20 gift card to Tonya Kappes Books, or you won a autographed book, whichever one from the bookstore at my website. I also am giving away these fun pairs of socks. They're like little message socks, so I thought they were funny. They're called, "If You Can Read This, Please Let Me Sleep." I just think that's so funny. So I'll be giving away some socks, and then I had some small tote bags made up, some book tote bags. Those will be also given away tonight. So that's some fun stuff going on. So it is now 7:05. So I think we've got a lot of people on here now. It's so good to see everybody. But first off, I wanted to tell you a little bit about why I chose Stamped Out, or chose to do a mail carrier character. So as most of y'all know, that we're kind of on hold to see what's going to happen with the camper series. And so I knew that I wanted to do another series outside of that, because when you turn your series over to a publisher or someone else other than yourself, those books take a while to come out, and that could be part of our deal. So I thought, well, I don't want to just not have another series that will take up that time. And so I thought, what can I write about? So I went through the Cozy Sleuth list, and I did not see any mail carriers. I thought, oh my gosh, you know, my mail carrier and I know each other. I have, I look at the funny memes on Instagram about mail carriers. I thought, I'm going to do a mail carrier. So that's how I came up with it, because I thought, oh my gosh, if she's a mail carrier, there's going to be gossip. She can find things. She could be at the nursing home. She can do the downtown area. She could be a walker. And then I thought, oh my goodness, what about if she not only had the shops, but maybe behind the shops that she has a little neighborhood. So interestingly enough, my son Austin is able to make maps through his architectural class. And so they're like interactive maps. So when you see this map, if you click on one of the houses, it's going to say who the name of that house belongs to and a little bit about that character. And so we've been really working hard on this to bring this to fruition. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be ready by the time the book comes out, but it's going to be a series. So hopefully we can get that going, because he is in his final year at UK for his architecture, and he's taking like 18 classes this semester. So, and he's really busy. So probably more than likely he'll be able to get that done over Christmas break, so before the next book comes out. But anyway, so here's a little bit about the town. It's called it's called Sugar Creek Gap, and originally I didn't want to have a state, but the way I write and the way I am, unfortunately, Kentucky just becomes a part of it. Is she going to attack me? What are you doing, Rowena? Hi. Oh, she's going to bite that now. So anyways, hi, Rowena. Hi. 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 Yeah. So anyways, what happened is that, so it's just kind of played in this old mill town. So say you're standing at the end of the main street and you're looking north. So if you're looking north, there is a creek that's running the whole way down Main Street on the right side. But before, there's also like the post office is there, and there are a couple other things that are there at the end. But there's a mill, old mill wheel that still turns. So you've got that. Behind that, if you're looking to the east, is a nursing home. There's a lot of woods because it was an old mill town. And if you're still standing at the end of Main Street and you look to the left, going north, then you've got all the shops. And so this weekend, I've actually got a blog going up on my killer characters from Bernadette, the mail carrier, and she's going to talk about all that stuff. So I'll make sure that I, send you guys over there at the end of the week so you get to read all of that in the shops. Bernadette's parents are still alive. They live in the condos at the nursing home. Bernadette lives on a farm. She is a 50-year-old widow, and that kind of plays into the mystery of things. She has a son named Grady, who is the local high school football coach, and he is married to a girl named Julia. And so if you're still on Main Street, her route is she goes to the post office, and she doesn't have a mail carrier car, which those have a name called LLV, who I got that from one of our own group members, Ashley Youngblood, because she is a mail carrier, so I have texted her and messaged her throughout the process and learning some things. As well, have talked to my local mail carrier and postal service. I go in, they kind of showed me around. So it's not that she's in the post office, but at least I know something about it so I don't sound as silly. So anyways, what happens is that she also has the whole downtown area, and then when you get to the end of the Main Street, there is a radio station. Funny. And then there, like I said, on the right is the old mill wheel, and it still runs. Behind the old mill wheel is the courthouse and the police station and all those kind of things. And I will put up a picture of what it looks like in my head that I had to draw for my son so he could make the interactive map. So I'll do that after the video. But also when you get to the end of the street where the radio station is, there's another it's called Short Street, and you go over a little bridge, and there it takes you to another street that's got like 8 or so houses on it on one side, but there's a creek that runs on the other side. So this is a mill town with a lot of creeks, which is how they are in Kentucky. And so that house only, that street, it's called Little Creek Street because it's a little creek. They only have those houses on the one side of the street, and it's a dead end. Now, on her way to work every day, she has her route, and she has to come back. She does part of her route with her mail carrier bag, and that's called her loops. So her first loop is the businesses and that one street. Then she has to go back to the post office, which she can make over these little bridges, over these creeks. She can go back to the post office to get her second loop, which is some more neighborhood streets behind the post office, behind the courthouse, but everything is wooded. So everything's woodsy. So there's a local country club, and there is a country club neighborhood where all the rich people live, but she doesn't have that as her area. But you never know. She might trade off and say, oh, I could only can you trade my route? Because she's nosy. But anyways, then there is the school that is very popular. They love the high school football. They love all the sports. It's a very sports-oriented town for the students. So that's kind of the setup of the town. And that was just a quick setup. So we're going to go ahead and start reading chapter 1, where you're going to be introduced to someone in the nursing home by the name of Vince. And Vince is an older gentleman, and I think that you're really going to like him. And so also we have what's called the front porch ladies. So when I was telling you about the neighborhood with the 8 houses, just think of like little shotgun houses, and they all have the same porches, and they're all these little blue-haired ladies that yell across, "What'd she say? What mail did you get today? Did you win Publishers Clearinghouse?" You know, those kind of things, but they know all the gossip. And also they want to say, "Hey, Bernadette, did so-and-so get an invitation to that wedding? Because I heard they got in a fight." And they also give her food. And so it's all kind of the gossipy group of women, which I have in all my books. Obviously with the Laundry Club ladies, I have in the Camper series. I have the auxiliary women in the Ghostly series. So these are the front porch ladies. So I'm going to read chapter 1. I'm not really good at reading out loud, but we're going to try, and it's a few chapters, so bear with me. Good morning, Vince. Vince Caldwell was sitting outside on one of the many swings across the long covered porch at the Sugar Creek Gap nursing home, looking at the morning paper. My phone rang in, and it was Iris as I walked up. This was the second time she'd called this morning, and the second time I'd sent her to voicemail. "Morning, Bernie." Vince pulled the readers off the bridge of his nose and looked up through his bushy gray eyebrows. He patted the open space next to him and put his crossword puzzle down. "I was thinking about you this morning. About to turn cold. Hope you start dressing warmer. I'd hate for you to catch a chill." "Thank you. I think about you every morning." I took a seat and at that moment knew exactly why Iris had called, but didn't leave a message. Earlier, I was running late for my route. I wanted to try to finish a little early today since it was game day. "I still can't believe it's been 10 years, Bernie." Vince reached over and patted my leg. "We sure still miss Richard and his guitar." "Me too." I sucked in a deep breath. My heart sank into my stomach when I looked at my watch to see the date. The anniversary of Richard's death. Something I'd never forgotten until today. "You and Grady heading over to the cemetery for the big game?" Vince asked because it was high school football season, and wouldn't you know, Grady had gone to college, gotten his degree in sports management with a minor in English, where he was now the Sugar Creek Gap High School English teacher and also the head football coach. "I'm sure I will." I tugged open my mailbag and took out Vince's mail. "We probably weren't, but I guess I wasn't going to tell anyone. I usually went to see Richard's grave alone." "Do you want this, or do you want me to put this in your mailbox?" It wasn't long after Grady was born that Richard and I had decided that I'd be a stay-at-home mom and quit my job as a mail carrier. Child care was so expensive, and Richard had just gotten his first good sales job that took him out of town a lot. It made more sense for me to quit my job than to try to find somewhere or someone to watch him. After Richard had passed away, I'd gone back to the post office. They'd offered to give me my route back, which was a driving route, but the downtown area walking route was available. It was much harder to walk and carry the mail, but staying outdoors kept my mind clear and helped me escape from thinking too much about Richard. "I'll just take it," Vince said, bringing me out of my thoughts. Vince was one of the many elderly citizens who had moved to the retirement condos the nursing home had offered. Even my parents lived there too. They weren't retired by any stretch of the means, but it was a low-cost and low-maintenance way of living, and they loved it there. "Well, if I'm going to go to the game on time, I better get hustling." I stood up. The extra chains dangled from the ceiling of the porch clanked. I handed him his mail. "Growl!" Vince did his best impression of the grizzly bear sound, like the crowd did when someone scored a touchdown. He got up and yelled, "Go Grizzlies!" "Rah, rah," I laughed and put my fist in the air and noticed an Uber driver had pulled up. "Where are you going, Vince?" "Emergency city council meeting today. I heard some rumblings about Chuck Schilling selling the majority share of the country club to someone. Apparently at last night's commissioners' meetings, things got a little heated. He didn't mention who bought the country club. But from what I understand, Dennis Coots is up in arms, and it should be a good one. Well, maybe I'll stop by the courthouse on my route, I said, and waved him off. Dennis Coots and Chuck Schilling owned the 120-acre country club that it sat on. So why would Dennis be so upset? I pondered the question as I dropped the mailbag on the floor and filled the small community boxes as quickly as possible before I locked them back up and headed out in record time. In light of the news of the sale of the country club, which was huge news if what Vince had told me was true, maybe everyone would not remember that today was the day. Not that I didn't love how my community rallied around me and Grady, but it was like they rehashed it every year, and I was just wanting to grieve on my own. The sun was bright and had warmed the chill of the autumn day to where I could take off my sweater. I tied it around my waist and walked over the old Mill Creek Bridge. Once over the bridge, I was standing where I had started my morning, next to the post office and across the street from where I'd begin the rest of my morning route, the downtown businesses on the left side of Main Street. Eventually, I'd get to the small neighborhood on the west side of downtown, then make my way back downtown where I'd deliver all the mail to the businesses in the business district of Sugar Creek Gap, which included the courthouse, the doctor's building, the bank, and the various other businesses. I like to finish my day with a few neighborhoods that were just east of downtown that circled back to the post office. Briefly, I stopped to listen to the sound of the babbling brook across the rocks on the old mill push the water down the creek. It was a daily ritual that I loved. Only today, there were a lot more cars than usual on Main Street. When I crossed the street, I noticed the cars were all pulling in the courthouse parking lot. Out of curiosity and what Vince had said about the country club, I was going to switch up my route and deliver the mail to the courthouse just so I could pop my head into the emergency town council meeting. Social Network was the first business I came to. It was our local yarn shop owned by Leota Goldie. She was a whiz with any sort of material. She was the go-to gal for anything that needed to be altered and lettered. She had the monopoly on all things named with names on them, including all the business she got from the Sugar Creek Gap school and sports team. When I pushed through the door, the bell above knocked against the glass door. Leota looked up. "Morning, Bernadette." She greeted me with a pair of knitting needles in her hand. "You doing all right today?" "I sure am," I said and headed over to the counter. I reached around and grabbed her mail out of my bag, putting it in the basket that sat next to the register. "No mail today?" "Nope." She stood over a customer's shoulder, watching as they were knitting something. I generally was there the same time each day, which was when Leota gave a lesson or two. I was not a knitter or any type of crafter, but I enjoyed watching. "I'll have some mail tomorrow. I'll be writing out my bills this afternoon." She pointed one of the needles to the coat rack where some of the fluffy fall-colored scarves hung. "I made some new scarves for tonight's game. You take one if you like. It's going to turn real cold this week." "These sure are pretty," I thumbed through them. "But Grady and Julia gave me the personalized scarf for my birthday this summer that you made. So I guess I better use that or they'll skin my hide," I joked, thinking Grady probably had no idea that his wife Julia had given it to me. "Oh, that's right." She looked up at me and smiled over the student's shoulder. "He is such a good boy, Bernadette. And that Julia, she is a quick learner." Julia Butler was his wife. They'd met in college, and she worked at Mac Tabor as Mac Tabor's secretary. He was a good family friend who was also the local architect in Sugar Creek. She graduated in business school. They'd gotten married a couple of years ago and yet to give me a grandbaby. "Quick learner?" I asked. "Yeah, she's been coming over here and taking a class from me during her lunch break." Well, that was news to me, but not unusual since Julia's office was just a couple doors down. "You be careful out there this morning." She pointed her needle toward the window at the streetscape. "All sorts of people canceled their knitting appointments because they're up in arms about the sale of the country club. Did you hear about last night's meeting?" Well, somebody said something about it over at the nursing home this morning. I watched alongside her as another car zoomed down the street. I wonder why so many people care, Leota shrugged and walked back to her student. I have no idea. I'm not a member of the country club. I put my hand on the handle of the door. Well, I'll see you at the game, Leota called out from me from across the shop. Sounds good. My phone buzzed again. I stopped on the sidewalk and pulled the cell out of my pants pocket. When I saw it was Iris for the third time, I figured she really wanted something, so I answered it. Hey, Iris, I answered and continued to deliver the mail to the very area businesses. Mostly the owners were busy with customers or not in front of their shops when I delivered their mail, so I popped in and out as quickly as I could. I'd pretty much perfected my system over the past 10 years. Where have you been? I've been calling and texting you all morning. I about left pies in the oven to come find you. Iris sounded a little more on edge than the typical yearly bad feeling for her friend call. Maybe she was calling about the pumpkin sugar cookies I'd volunteered us to make for the high school boosters tonight. I'm fine. I'll meet you at my house right after I get finished delivering my mail route. I didn't tell her I'd already baked several dozen of the pumpkin sugar cookies last night when I couldn't sleep. I totally forgot it was the day until Vince reminded me. I feel awful. I bet Grady wonders why I hadn't texted him, I told Iris. Huh? Iris sounded all sorts of confused on the other end of the line. It's Richard's date of death. Was she pulling my leg? Iris never forgot. Oh my God. Iris' voice was so loud it made my brain rattle through the phone. Bernadette, I'm so sorry. What kind of best friend am I? How are you? Did you get any sleep? Are you working? Of course you didn't get any sleep. You said you were working, but oh, I'm a bad friend. No, you're a great friend. I'm fine, and I slept. I lied. I just told you that I totally forgot. I stopped shy of Tranquility Wellness Spa to make sure I didn't disturb any of the classes that they were having inside the quiet time. Tranquility Wellness was a one-stop Zen shop. They offer all things the name would allude you to, from spa treatments, yoga classes, meditation classes, nutrition classes, and any sort of medi-spa that I wanted to check out. So if you're calling to check on me so early this morning, then what is up? I asked her. Well, first off, I think it's a great sign that you forgot. Maybe you can start dating now. Leave it up to Iris to fix me up. She's been trying to do so for the past 9 years, leaving me 1 year to grieve. Not on your life, I said. The last thing I want is a man to have to cook and clean for. I looked into the window to see if there was a yoga class or something before I crept in and laid the mail on the counter. Anyways, what's up? For a brief moment, I stopped and took a deep breath. Even though I knew Peaches Parton, the owner, used a machine to pump a spa smell from a bottle into the vents, it made me still feel good to inhale and exhale when I was in Tranquility Spa. Oh, I had me a feeling. I know you don't want to hear about it, but I was wondering if you'd been to Matt Tabor's house yet. Iris knew I asked her to stop telling me about her feelings after Richard's death. No, I haven't got that far in my deliveries, I told her. I'm about to stop at Pie in the Face. Are you there? Pie in the Face was the name of her company. It was created after she caught Bobby Peters cheating on her in their very own bed. Not only were he and the girl all snuggled up, they'd been eating Iris's homemade pie right out of her pie plate. Forget he was cheating. Iris never let anyone eat out of a pie plate. You don't even cut a piece out of the pie plate, she said, was what she told him. Oh, sorry about that, I messed up. You didn't even cut a piece of the pie out of the pie plate, was what Iris had told me she said to the cheating couple when she found them and the pie on the bedside table. You get a pie in your face, she yelled at them. Then she picked up the pie and slammed it into his face. Of course, she came to the house all tore up. Richard and I couldn't stop laughing. But Richard then had suggested that she make her baking side hustle into a real business. That's when Richard jokingly said that she could call it pie in the face. So whenever Bobby Peters had to drive downtown to get to his lumber yard, the name on the bakery would constantly remind him of his philandering ways. She ran with Richard's idea and had a very successful bakery now. I did bake some too, but she paid me for them to bake. But most nights we were just baking in my farm kitchen, keeping each other company. If not for Iris and our friendship or our fun nightly baking sessions at my house, I wouldn't know what to do with all the free time in the evenings now that Grady was married off. That's when being a widow was the hardest, at night. I'm not at the bakery. I had a few deliveries this morning, and now I'm off to the high school to teach some cake baking decorating 101. Iris was also the baking consultant for the high school economics department. Anyways, when you get to Mac's house or business, make sure that he's all right. And I have some outgoing mail, so be sure to grab it because I'm not sure Geraldine even heard me say I was leaving. So on her phone, she was on her phone Instagramming some of my pies. So Iris and I hung up after I had agreed to check on Mac. Geraldine Workman was Iris's only employee. But quickly I texted Grady. I knew that he would be busy in his classroom to even get my text, but I still didn't want the day to go by and us stand there with sadness looking at each other on the football field that night. There was a group of men standing on the sidewalk in front of the Wallflower Diner. That was my mom and dad's place. One of them was Dennis Coots. I walked slower and pretended I was going through my mailbag to collect what mail I had for the diner. I recognized the other men from the football games. They all like to hang over the chain link fence instead of sitting in the stand with their wives. I'm telling you, Mac Tabor threatened me last night when I told him I didn't agree with Chuck selling his part of our country club to him. He is not going to get away with this. When anyone mentioned Mac Tabor's name, it got my attention. Dennis Coon's big belly hung over his pants, and he had a toothpick stuck in the corner of his mouth. His thin brown hair was combed to the side and to help cover up the bald spot, but he didn't do a good job at it. He had plump cheeks, and he was plump himself. I heard it with my own ears, one of the other men said, although I didn't look to see who it was. This emergency city council meeting better settle it, because I don't have time to listen to this crap at tonight's game. We've got to bring home a win. The man shook his head. The city council and the commissioner better get on the same page before this town implodes. As the mother of the coach of the team that's supposed to win, it was hard for me to pinch my lip. These men love to give their 2 cents on how they run the plays that Grady instructed the boys on the field. Once, I didn't keep my mouth shut, and Grady was mad at me for a week. He said I should know better, and it was part of me being a mom of a coach. Nonetheless, I was a mom, a Sugar Creek grizzly mom that was a bear in her own right. Mac Tabor and Chuck Schilling will regret it if they show up this morning, Dennis Koontz folded his hands over his big belly. If it weren't for them talking about Mac and how Iris was hell-bent on those feelings of her, I probably just would have walked by with tonight's game being the only care in the world. You only own 40% from what Chuck Schilling told me last night after football practice, because it seems like it's a pretty done deal. Another one of the men had spoken up. I also recognized him as Peter Day. Peter's son Samuel was the star of the high school football team, and I knew his wife Elaine from Boosters. Chuck pretty much said it was a done deal, said it right there while we were standing on the 50-yard line. Another one of the men in the circle stuffed some money in his wallet and went to put it back in his back pocket when his elbow hit me. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no problem. I stopped, nearly stumbling over my own feet. I should have been watching where I was going instead of sorting through the mail. I sucked in a deep breath and slid my gaze over to Dennis. Hey, aren't you Richard's widow? Dennis asked me with a furrowed brow. Yes, I said. It was a title that I was given and hated. It was what it was. You've got a great son, good football coach. I'm really looking forward to tonight's big game. He smacked Peter on the back. They all nodded. Well, not Dennis. Your husband and Mac Tabor, they were best friends, right? Dennis's chin lifted a little in the air, and he stared down at me with his nose. Yes, they were, I confirmed. My stomach tightened. I could feel the gut punch coming. Well, you tell him that if he thinks he's going to get his hand on my country club, he'll have to go through me to do it, Dennis said through his grunted teeth. The other men laughed. I'll see you gentlemen tonight. I hurried past them and pushed the diner door open. Go Grizzlies! My dad sat at the counter with the other regulars. Go Grizzlies! I pumped a fist in the air and weaved in and out of the full table. Here's the mail. I handed my mom the stack of various food service bills and magazines she loved to display throughout the diner for those eating alone. What's the deal with the country club? I asked her. Sure enough, there was a line out the door when we got here this morning. Mama shook her head. Her hair was still nice and brown, giving me hope I wouldn't inherit my father's gray hair he'd gotten in his 50s. Mama was a little plump around the waist and hips. In those years of good cooking and all the people cooking for the people in Sugar Creek Gap, the years had been kind to her. She had very few wrinkles and wore very little makeup. You know, I can't make hide nor hair of the truth, she said, but I do know something about Mac Tabor. I was going to ask Julia about this morning, but she grabbed a biscuit and coffee before she headed out, something about a long day. Julia and Grady lived over top of the diner in the one-bedroom apartment. It was perfect for them since they both worked near downtown. Julia's office was next door at Tabor Architects, and the high school was just about a mile down the road. Really, I should have been living in the apartment, and they should have the farm. I couldn't think about that right now, though. Uh-oh, you've got that look in your eye. Mama handed me a styrofoam box filled with some biscuits. What are you thinking? Oh, nothing. I shrugged and took the box. For Harriet? I asked about the biscuits. Yeah, she's got the ladies coming over this morning for some front porch gossip, Mom winked. I told her I'd send some biscuits with you. Mom always had me delivering something like I was Uber Eats or something. Gertrude has made some of her blueberry jam and canned a lot for winter. I think I'll get some for the diner. Gertrude Stone, hands down, made the best jam in Sugar Creek Gap. You in a hurry? Mom asked when I put the container in my mail bag and started to wave. Yeah, I'm thinking about switching up my route and heading over to the city council meeting to see what's going on around here, I sighed. It appears as if everyone has lost their minds over this country club thing. Rightfully so. When change happens in a community, every one of us try to figure out where we all belong in the new system. I think that's what's going on. Mama swiped the towel across the counter before she tucked it back into her apron. She took a to-go box from underneath the counter. For Rowena, tell her Granny sent them. Aw, I took the bag of leftovers my mom liked to give my cat. She'll love it. I stuck it in my mail carrier bag. I'll see you tonight. Of course you will, Mom said. Mom and Dad never missed anything of Grady's. Even now, in their mid-70s, they were just as active as the day I brought him home from the hospital. I gave her a quick hug, and my dad and I kissed before we headed out the door. Quickly, I delivered the mail between the diner and Tabor Architects. Good morning. I'm so glad to see you, I greeted Julia, my daughter-in-law, when I walked to the front in her front office. You won't believe how crazy people have gotten over Dennis Kuntz and his partner Chuck Schilling selling the country club, Julia told me some other news. And now Mac is buying it. So it was confirmed. This was the news that would travel fast in Sugar Creek Gap. He is? I wondered if Iris had a feeling because she heard the big news. Yes, Mac has been doing some layouts for the new condos he wants to build. He told them about his plans at the city council meeting last night. Worst mistake ever. Julia shook her pretty blonde hair and put her hands up to her head. I've already got a throbbing headache from people calling and protesting. What am I going to do? I don't make the decisions around here. About that time, the phone rang. Julia put her finger up for me to hold on. I glanced out the door when I noticed a few of the city council members and the mayor walking toward the courthouse with some sign under their arms. I almost got a crook in my neck to see what the sign said, but I couldn't get past their glares at me through the window. What did I do? I shook my head and turned back to look at my daughter-in-law. Tabor Architects, she answered the phone. I'm sorry, Mr. Tabor isn't in right now. May I take? Julia pulled the phone away from her ear and looked at it before placing the cradle. This town has lost her mind. She grabbed the ringing phone. She put her hand over the receiver and over the mouth and said, I'll see you at tonight's game. I'll save you a seat in the stands. That was a long first chapter. So that was the first chapter. So what do you guys think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you think it's going to be a fun new series? I hope so. I'm going to try to read these comments. Oh, I've got my coffee thing in there. Oh, good. I see everybody putting up some fun stuff. I tried to do this. Oh, thanks. Oh, well, so in the front of the book, which I don't have pulled up, there is a prologue. Do you want me to kind of pull it up to see if I can find it? Let's see. So the prologue, I'll read it really fast so you kind of know about Iris. So it's real quick. Let's see. It says, have you ever been around one of those people who say there's something coming or something about to happen? Or have you been thinking about her and she calls at that moment, that instant? My best friend, Iris Peabody, she's not one of those psychics or anything, but she does get those weird feelings every once in a while. The first time we were in 3rd grade, she swore to me how she'd seen a vision of Bobby Peters, the cutest boy in school, kissing me on an old rubber tire, the one that's kind that are cemented on the playground. And as soon as the teacher said it was time for recess, I darted out to that playground and perched myself right on top of that tire until Bobby Peters himself ran by and pushed me off, sending me to the ground and breaking my wrist. Boy, Iris was wrong. Then there was another time when we were in high school and Iris told me she had one of them visions again, where Bobby Peters again was going to ask me to prom. When I saw him walk over to our table in the cafeteria, my heart went pitter-patter until he up and asked Iris, and she went. And it wasn't until years later when I'd already gotten married to Richard Butler, making me Bernadette Butler, stay-at-home mom and ex-United Postal worker. And Iris was already getting divorced from Bobby Peters when she called me at 3 p.m. one afternoon. I was getting ready to head over to the high school football stadium to watch Grady. Oh, no. He didn't play football. At this time, he was he didn't play football. He was the Sugar Creek Gap Grizzly Bear mascot that they did finally promote to manager the following year. Still, I went to see every game Sugar Creek Gap high school played to watch my boy run up and down the sidelines in that ridiculous bear outfit, waving the high school flag in our very own small town of Sugar Creek Gap, Kentucky. Anyways, back to Iris. Well, she called me right before I was setting out to the game. All sorts of questions about Richard and whether I talked to him. Her exact words were, I feel something is wrong with Richard. To this day, I still get chills thinking about it. Iris insisted I call him, but I knew Richard was away on business in our neighboring state of Tennessee according to the online calendar we shared. There was no reason for me to bother him, especially when Iris's little feelings had never come true yet. I was cheering on that cute grizzly bear from the stands when I noticed the state sheriff had showed up to the game. It was like slow motion. I recalled seeing him ask someone a question and the person turned and pointed directly at me. The sheriff's officers and I met, and my stomach dropped. Iris Peabody about my beloved Richard had come true. He had been killed in a car wreck on his way to his meeting. I'm Bernadette Butler, United States Postal Carrier, mom to Grady Butler and widow. So that's how the actual book starts out. And then it goes into, thank you, Jane and Jeannie and Monica. That's how it starts out. And it's kind of sad. But I wanted to create a character that, I'm a mom of 4 adult boys. I'm right at 50. And, I just wanted a character that I could Thanks, Wilfreda, because that's what they are. I wanted a character that I could relate to and that a lot of my readers could relate to. I mean, I do love my 20-something-year-old sleuths, but I thought it was about time I write somebody about my age. So, not that I know a lot of gossipy people. She loves to gossip. Look at her. What is she looking at? Rowena? Hey. Hey. Hi. She hates me. Hi. She has a mole on her lip. Isn't that cute? So anyways, back to the book. So, thanks, Jean. So it is really going to be a lot of fun. So with that said, I am going to go ahead and give away the first prize, which is going to be a pair of socks, and they're going to go to Tammy Cordell Hudson. Tammy, are you here? I hope you are. So Tammy, if you could message me your mailing address, which I'm probably sure I have, but if you could do that, then I would love to get those in the mail to you. And then we'll go ahead and give away a $20 gift card to the bookstore, and that is Monica Cobain. So you're going to get the $20 gift card. How I'm doing this is kind of like a Russian roulette. It's wherever my thing finds. So Monica Cobain, message me for the gift card, and I'll tell you how we can redeem that. And I'm probably messing up here because I'm trying to type it all in. So as those two message me, we'll move on for a little bit. So great. And we have a few more prizes, but obviously I had my reader event over the weekend, and I had suggested to some of the girls, like Ashley Youngblood, who is actual mail carrier that I talked to, and this actually is not the book. So the book is not here yet. This is on an old book of mine that was a mistake book that I've gotten from the printer. So I took copy paper and printed it on sticker sheet and wrapped it around so I could have it for different promo and things like that. But anyways, what I thought we would do is that when I get the copies after it's released, I thought we would do something fun called Mail It Forward. And this is just a really fun thing for our group. And you don't have to write any of this down. It's all going to be, I'll be putting it on the Facebook page as well as my website, TonyaKappes.com, under the book club page, which is what I've changed the name here to the online group. And so if whatever you see here, you'll also see on the website. So I thought that what I would do is when I get my author copies, I'm going to have we're going to have a sign-up sheet. And I'm going to sign it. And then I'm going to get, like, you know, those flat-looking magnets. So the first person that signs up is who's going to get my Kentucky magnet from the state of Kentucky. So what you have to do if you're going to participate is I'm going to take the picture to my mail carrier, have him hold it, or I'm going to take it to the post office. I'm going to get a picture, and then I'm going to post it to our group and say, okay, it's off to Jeannie. And so, because Jeannie was the first one on the list, and everybody's going to get a copy of the list and who they're going to be giving it to. So then I would go get a Kentucky magnet. I'm going to sign the inside. This is a camper book. I'm going to sign the inside and my name and Kentucky and put the magnet in and send it in the mail to Jeannie, which shouldn't cost too much, $2 or $3 to send the book in the mail. And then when Jeannie gets it, she's going to take a picture of it near a post, somewhere near the post office or with her postal carrier. She's going to go get maybe she lives in Tennessee. So she's going to go get a magnet for her state of Tennessee, and she's going to keep the Kentucky magnet. She's going to open it up, sign her name, and then she's going to mail it to the next person on the list. So if you think you guys want to participate in that, we're going to do that, and sign-ups will be coming out shortly. So be watching for that here and also in the newsletter. So I thought that would be a really fun game. And then she's going to post her picture to the group too. So there's all sorts of rules that I mean, it's just fun. I thought, oh, we'll get it going around to the postal system. That's not something for you to read. It's just something for us. And so, and at the end, I thought it would be fun to see where it traveled, who it traveled to, and then we're going to give that copy away to one of the participants. So I thought that would be really, really fun. The next thing that we have to talk about is book club. So book club, as you know, is on the 21st, and we're doing Valleys, Vehicles, and Victims. So if you've not gotten your copy, it's not too late. And if you didn't read it, it's okay. You can still join us for book club. It's going to be live, kind of like this. And I'm going to put out another form where you can start sending in me questions, because it's me this time doing the book club, as we have been doing for the past year, which will be a lot of fun. Also a lot of giveaways. A couple of the giveaways, I had picked up these really cool book club napkins when I was on my reader trip, and they're hilarious. I also picked up this book club soap, and on the back it says, pairs well with gossip and wine and more wine. I mean, I thought that was hilarious. So there's a lot of really cool things for the book club, more giveaways. These are just two that I grabbed before I come down to the table. So join us if you can. That'll be fun. So another thing that you notice is the book boxes. So I got an idea to do the book boxes. I thought they'd be a lot of fun. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a 2020 reading challenge. So when I first started the book club, the Death Becomes Us book club years ago, it kind of evolved into something I really didn't want. Kind of lost control of that. So I'm like, oh, I got to step away from that. So this year we're going to do that. So this is where the mystery book boxes come in. So I'm doing the book boxes bi-monthly. And so every other month will be a Tonya Kappes book, and every other month will be some wonderful author that has donated the book. Also, this information will be on TonyaKappes.com, and you will get it from me as we do things. I'm just telling you what's coming up. So there's a lot of information that's coming up that we're doing. So hold on to your hats. So anyways, here is the list. And so these are the people. So you've got a book club challenge. So what we're going to do is the challenge is going to be year long. And these authors have already started sending me their books. They're going to be given away or added into the book boxes that are bi-monthly. So every bi-monthly book box that you order, there's some months that are just 60, and then towards the end of the year we have 75. That is it. I'm not doing any more than 75 this year. So the book box that goes on sale for February will still only be 60. So those book boxes sold in like 6 hours. I had no idea that they would sell that fast. So the first one is from Molly Fritz. So she is in all of her books, along with one of my books, and all of her books will be signed, are in the book boxes. So those will be two of the books in the book box. Every book box will have 2 books, plus the extra fun stuff. Anyways, this is crazy. So Molly is going to join us in January live for book club. But we're going to be reading her book in December. So we're going to read the book and then invite her in January. But then in January, we're going to read a Tonya Kappes book, and you'll be able to download this sheet. And at the end of it, and you'll also be able to turn in different things that shows me that you're reading the books. Because at the end of the year, when I collect it, everybody's going to get a little something each month that they do finish the challenge from me. But at the end of the year, I'm going to dedicate a complete whole book to you, whoever the winner is. And I mean, there might be 100 winners, so we're going to, draw by the name, luck of the draw. So that's something that's coming in January 2020, and I'm excited. But the you'll want to join us in December to read the book, which I will post that in plenty of time. And all of this will be vomited out again. I'm just telling you what's coming because there's a lot coming for our online Cozy Crew. So this will be the book. So if you've read it, great. If you're a step ahead of all of us. If not, we're going to read it in December and then have Molly join us. Also, Addison Moore, she's donated the books. Leanne Dobbs sent books. Kathy Daly, Diane Capri, Tracy Andretti. There's a couple other people that are on the list that we haven't really finalized yet. So we've got some great New York Times bestselling authors on the book, USA Today's bestselling authors, and they're all cozy mysteries. I'm really excited. So that's going to be really fun. They're all joining us for book club. So that is a way to get interested in other people. Now, another thing that we got to talk about is our socks for Christmas. So last year, we did a sock exchange. And some people put in mugs. Some people put in lip gloss. Some people put in keychains, magnets, or nothing. You don't have to do anything. It's just a pair of Christmas socks. And this year, I'm putting on Elfster. And the reason why we did Elfster is because last year, sadly, some people did not get their socks. And I know who didn't send the socks. So I'll be watching you and being on you. But me, along with a lot of other amazing people in our community, stepped up to the plate and sent socks to those extra people. And can you imagine if you send a sock to somebody and somebody got your name and you did not get a sock back? That's devastating. That's just devastating. And it's heartbreaking. And as somebody that was putting it together, and as somebody that I write books so that people feel good about themselves, and they were feeling really bad and crappy, and I was feeling bad and crappy. So this year we're doing it through Elfster, and they automatically pair you up. And it doesn't, they're not, a little elf is not going to come to your house and force you to buy the socks and force you to put them in the mailbox. But I'm telling you, if you cannot do it, please don't sign up. I don't want to get a message that says a week before that is the due date that says, oh, somebody got sick. I understand people get sick all the time. I understand that we have deaths in our family. I understand that we get busy. Trust me, I know. This time last year, I was going through that myself. And I still got my socks out because I know today that I'm going to participate. So guess what? I went out yesterday and bought my socks. And I've already got everything in the bag. So when in November, when we get our name, which you will get your name in November, I'll be able to get my sock in the mail and anticipate anything that's wrong going on, that it's coming up. So if you can't participate, I love you, but please don't sign up because it's not fair to those of us who do. So that's that. That's coming up. And then also, some more stuff is coming up is invite your friends to our book club, our book page. I have been asking for recipes, but I want cookie recipes because I thought it would be fun if we could do like a Christmas cookie exchange. And I will take the responsibility of compiling all of them into one document so we can just give them out. I can give them away. So if you have a cookie recipe, message me. Email me at tonyakappes@tonyakappes.com. It's easy to do. Email me a recipe. You'll get your name in the little brochure thing, and everybody will get a copy. And I'd like to get those out to everybody before December 1st. So that's another thing on our list, which I will post all of this. I'm just letting you know, thinking ahead and some things you might want to jot down because I love our community and I love how involved we are. Also, the reader mailboxes. If you signed up for a birthday card and you did not get a birthday card, Aaron Hoffman, I'm looking at you because I'm still holding your birthday card. You did not put a zip code on it. And I don't know where these zip codes are. And I certainly don't have time to hunt down a few hundred zip codes. So if you did not get a birthday card, it's because you did not fill out the form correctly, and I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. So, because I have gotten a couple messages that said, I didn't get my birthday card. I know I signed up. Well, it's because you were kicked out because you did not fill the entire thing out correctly. Some people even put their, instead of their address, they put their email address. And these are postcards that I personally, well, Rowena personally does as my assistant, but she is working very hard, as you could tell. Are you awake? Hi. Hi. Anyways, so if you did not, you could also find the sign up on my website at TonyaKappes.com. And lastly, is, I know there was something was stamped out. I was trying to think about stamped out. Oh yeah, so obviously, I always tell people, say, oh, I'm never going to get a book signed by you. I'm never going to get a book signed. How am I going to get a book signed? One, that's why I put the books on the bookstore on my website, is so people can order them signed. So if you would like to have a book signed or a book giveaway for a family or friend, then I suggest you get that in, because I try to get all those out. If you want to give away a book for Christmas, that'd be awesome. A Tonya Kappes book would be even better. But anyways, and I can ship them wherever. Also, with Stamped Out, I am going to be doing book plates. So we are also going to do Stamped Out as a book club. But if you order Stamped Out, the print copy, because a lot of people order print copies. So if you order print copy, which is on Amazon right now, to go out on the 29th when it publishes, and you would like a book plate signed, then I am more than happy to do that for you. So I'll be doing book plates. So we'll have a little bit more about that as well, but that is something that'll be an option. So another big fun thing that we're doing is, here is Holiday Roast Mortem, the cover. Okay, so this is just the mock-up. Obviously, Mortem is spelled wrong. We know that. This is just the mock-up because we're trying to get the picture. But this is going to be the cover with it spelled correctly. So I probably already have it in my inbox. But oh my gosh, look, there's Pepper, and we've got the coffee, we've got the poinsettias, we've got the Christmas lights. How adorable is this cover? So this book is not up for pre-order yet. It is coming out in November. I know, I look at all the hearts. I know, I love them. I guess Rowena didn't like all the excitement. So anyways, so this is the cover. So I decided, oh my gosh, there's a lot of fun books in that series, and it's been a while. So I thought we would come up with our very own 6-week Cozy Crew Challenge. So starting next week, and also this will be in the newsletter on Tuesday, so make sure you're looking at it. I'll also put it on the website at TonyaKappes.com under the book page. It says book group, and you can hit that and scroll down and read all this when it goes live this week. But here are all the books so far published in this series. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this book will be book 7, and some of those recipes that y'all are sending me, the cookie recipes, are going to go in this book with your name. Anyways, so how fun would it be over the next 6 weeks to reread the entire series? This is a challenge, and it's a challenge for just our online group. So at the end of the challenge, when the book releases in November, which all of this, again, will be spelled out for you easily, but I'm gearing you up for the challenge. Not only will you have some information to fill out to show that you did the challenge, you're going to get this awesome challenge gift certificate from me and signed in the mail after the challenge, and you're also going to be entered in to win a Kindle. Now, I know a lot of people probably have a Kindle, but you can get it just in time for Christmas. If you don't need it, you can always give it away if you win. So this is going to be the challenge for our fall and winter challenge. So it's a 6-week Cozy Crew challenge is what it's going to be called. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited, and I'm going to do it too. I'm going to refresh my memory, although we're reading all these other books. I know y'all read way fast, and they're not that long, and you probably just need to refresh your memory. And if you've already read them, you don't even really have to do the challenge. But it's a really fun way to get reacquainted with Roxy Bloom and Patrick and Sassy and Pepper. And this time there is a rabbit that's at the Bean Hive as the Pet Palace SPCA animal, who's also very cute. So again, this is the holiday roast mortem. I know that's wrong. This is just a mock-up. I just wanted to print it off to show you guys as an exclusive tonight for you being so awesome to me and on this journey. And then after the challenge, you will get an awesome certificate in the mail signed by me. And one last thing before I let you guys go. This is kind of a little long. Don't forget, your thankful meme is due. I've already been working on them. You guys, I have like 3,000 of these things to do. So if you don't get it in before next Tuesday, it's the cutoff date. So every day I work on these while I'm watching Days of Our Lives and having my lunch. So get your thankful meme form in. There is a post down below. If you can't find it, next in our area on the left, there's a search bar. Type in thankful meme or I'm thankful for or thankful. And everything that with that will come up and you'll see it. So get those in. And if that is it, I'm done talking. I'm going to have me some coffee. Does anybody have any questions? Uh-oh, the cat staring at me from the kitchen. Any questions or anything? Well, Jane, we should be rereading together. So feel free to take a picture of you doing the reading challenge with your book, with your Kindle, or whatever device you're reading it on, and put a picture in the Cozy Crew. I love that. Any kind of pictures you have with my books, I love, because I love to use those for marketing. I know that there's a certain television studio that have joined us across all mediums and is watching everything that we are doing. So if you have anything that you would love to share, go right ahead. Thank you, Cheryl. I'm probably way too open than I need to be, but that's okay because that's who I am and I'm happy to do so. So anyways, I hope that you really love reading chapter 1. I am going to go ahead and leave the comments open for 24 hours. So anyone that needs to rewatch the video have a chance to win a $10 or a book signed from me from the shop, as well as the Cozy Camper Tote. There was 2 of these made specifically for me, and I am giving one of those away. Also, some of this stuff is in the Cozy Mystery December box. These were handmade by my cousin, and this is her business, and I'm supporting her in our first December box, and it's amazing the things that she can do. And the ornaments, we have 2 ornaments in the boxes that she also made, and she has some really cool. Okay, so in the February box, there's an apron, and so she's making these aprons. Oh my gosh. So anyways, I shouldn't have said anything, but you know what I mean? My openness, there it goes. But anyways, if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. I hope that you loved getting to know Bernadette Peters, that's an actress, Bernadette Butler from Stamped Out. It's a new series. I'm excited about this series. It's different than anything I've written, only because she's a 50-year-old widow with an adult child that thinks she's nosy. If that sounds familiar, but I'm not a mail carrier. So, guys, have a great night. I've went over a lot of things that's coming up. I hope you're as excited as I am, and I will make sure you keep checking daily to watch for all the information. I hope you had fun, and go pre-order Stamped Out. See you guys later. I love you all. Mwah.